I was singing a very lonely song about like not having weed, but isn't it crazy how like most of our accusations or whatever, like the thing we fear most is just other people defining things, with just regularly established words. Like if someone were to call me a faggot, that's like, I mean, I don't want dicks in my butt. I don't believe in that. I don't want dicks in my butt. I like dicks. I like my dick. I jack off my dick all the time. So I clearly like dick. But it's like, I don't, you know what I mean? It's like, but if someone calls me a faggot, it's like, wow, they're defining a queer identity, and they're saying that I am that. And they're saying that that's what they see, and then that's about it. They don't like they people expect for the condemnation to be wrapped in the word and stuff, and it's like that's not true anymore. Like, words are just words nowadays, and like they have their history and they cause their emotional response, but it's very, I think people think that words hurt more than they do. I think it's white people's fault, because white people don't want to be called like cracker and stuff. At least in America, white people like just hate the idea of like slurs being used against them. You can't have slurs against you. You're white people. Like, what the hell? You're white people. You won. I don't really get it. I don't get why people promote white supremacy. I don't get why. I don't get it. I don't get, like, you already won by nature of being white. The master race is just everybody else. Now, you can mate with everybody else, or you can, like, mate with your own, like, sort of bloodlines, I guess. But that was always creepy and weird. Like, you always made fun of the king because they married their cousins and shit. Like, even in Egypt, what do you think that was? That was weird. That's weird. Like, you should know not to marry your brother and sister. Like, even in Greece, they knew not to marry your brother and sister. They said, oh, only for the gods. You know why? Because you had, like, weird defective children and shit. And it's nothing wrong with being a defective child, but it's because, you're a hell spawn. And, you matter in the sense that you're alive, but only in the sense that you could have been, like, not. You could have had a different body, sport. But then, like, if you call someone like a mutant, it's supposed to hurt their feelings. Like, I love mutants. I'm a mutant too. I have this thing called nail patella syndrome. It literally means I don't have, like, cartilage in my legs. It keeps tearing off and shit. But, like, I love pain. I work through it. I don't feel less pain. Like, that's such a weird thing to say, that black people feel less pain or whatever. But it's also weird because it's also, like, arbitrarily defined. It's like people want their identity to be like the best, and it's like not. It's like identity, you could just make that up. Like, you could just make up an identity. You could just I can just say I'm a comedian. I don't have to be a good comedian. Like, there's not that many good comedians. Like, how many are there? Like, I don't even think Dave Chappelle's that funny anymore. Surprise. Like, he lost his charm after he got old, but that's he's still gonna do whatever. He's still gonna make millions. He's still a comedian. So it doesn't really matter what I have to say or what I have to don't say. It is what it is. Like, I don't know. People, like, oh, the other day, like, on my video, I got, like, called a retard, and it's like, well, yeah, but then he later commented, like, he couldn't tell if it was stupidity or satire. And, like, all my videos are satirical. Like, I'm a satirist first and foremost, even if I'm being, like, emotional or whatever. I'm a satirist. Like, I don't really care about any of this shit. But the fact that, it was like, oh, are you a retard or something? You don't think that, like, I was just, like, writing stuff, you know what I mean? Like, you took it so seriously that you had to label it, and then you labeled it with words that I guess are supposed to hurt my feelings. But, like, being called a retard isn't that bad either. It's like, I don't get what people were, I don't get most things. I don't get what people were expecting. Like, I'm a stand-up comedian that just rambles to myself. I don't ever expect to get on stage. If I get on stage, it'll be like to promote a book or to just be an asshole. But I can just be an asshole on cue because I'm kind of an asshole. Like, it doesn't, like, I intend to, like, ramble on for 5 minutes. You can try, like, to just annoy people because I like Hunter x Hunter. Like, I'm gonna say that as I keep saying, you can try, and people are, like, gonna, like, not be amused by at some point, but then they're gonna get amused, because that's how humor works. It's like humor, it doesn't it doesn't have like a pre-established formula. You just have to be funny, and I'm funny as shit.